Hello everyone, Drifty here from Driftwood Gaming, and in this RPG Maker MV tutorial I'm going to show you how to make an in-game character generator or something like that. The inspiration for this video is from Final Fantasy 1 when you can select your heroes at the beginning of the game, and basically I made a character generator type thing and I'm going to show it to you. This will probably be a little bit of a longer tutorial, but let's get right to it. So you start off and you're a little sparkle thingy, and you get to select the way your character looks. So you're going to basically build your full party, 5 members. You're going to have 5 members. You get to pick what they look like, what their job is, and what their sub job is. So let's just pick this one real quick. It shows you the face icon and lets you see what the picture face would look like, just to make sure it's what you want. Teleports to another screen where you have a bunch of options to select your main job. So here's where you would put in your classes. So let's go with, I always like it to be like a samurai or a ronin or something. Let's go samurai. Now we're going to select the subclass for that character. So we're going to go samurai/ronin. Now it's going to take you to the naming screen where you can put your name in and name the character. Then it's going to take you back to the character selector. Except now you're no longer a little sparkle, you're the first character that you picked. But I was unable to make it work where you can have multiples of the same because I'm actually assigning unique actor IDs for each one, so you can only have one of that graphic per character. So, but that's why you have 18 options. So let's go ahead and pick another character here. And now we're going to select the job for this character and select the sub job for that character. Then we're going to name that character. It's going to take you back. And you're going to repeat this process until you build your full party at the beginning. Let's go with, like, I don't know, an Aeromancer and like Spellblade. Name that character. Select another one. I think she's always going to be the Spirit Dancer. She was like the first one. So. And we'll make her Spirit Dancer/Witch. And we got one more to do. So let's go ahead and pick this glowing one here. And we need a tank. So we're going to make this one a Guardian/Paladin. That's going to be a mean VP tank. Let's call this one Hells. Okay. Then after you've selected your full party, it switches to the next scene where it starts the intro, lets the player know how they can operate the game if they're using it on Android or whatever. Of course, this game's not going to be on Android. That was just a demo type thing. After you've gone through the intro, you've built your party, you are transported to the map, and there'll be some more storyline here, but this is just an example. And you're going to be able to change your sub job and your job right from the skill menu. So the reason why I wanted to do this is because if we try to learn skills, say the Ronin can learn skills, but the Samurais are just gained by leveling up, we would just change our subclass, our class to Ronin, and then changing our subclass to Samurai. So when you select your main and your sub job, you're actually just picking 2 jobs that you can interchange back and forth. So you could be Ronin Samurai or Samurai Ronin. And that's good because it lets you learn skills for both jobs. So now that I started Samurai Ronin, I switched to Ronin Samurai. And now as I get job points from doing fights, I can spend those job points on my Ronin moves, and then I can switch back to the Samurai. So we'll go class Samurai/Ronin, and I'll have those abilities as a Samurai/Ronin. And it'll work for all of them as well. So we have our Blue Mage, we have our learn skills, we can learn a study or whatever. And if we want to switch our jobs from see, we have, go to our learn skills, we see we only have those 2. But if we switch our class to Geomancer and then Blue Mage, we can learn all of the skills that the Geomancer would learn. And that just gives so much variety. Also, the system will let you upgrade your stats with job points, so job points will never be useless because you could always improve your character, and all characters will have these upgrade stats. And that's basically it. So you would have your party, and I've started them with no weapons and no armor or anything, but I'm gonna eventually throw them towards like an NPC that will sell some starting gear, and probably put some extra stuff in the opening sequence so that you can be assigned gear depending on what jobs you select. But that's our character generator. You can see we have some very, very unique combinations, because you could have any actor ID with any job and any sub job. So I mean, there's thousands, literally thousands of possibilities you can do with that. And it's only showing 4 there, but if you go to formations, you can see that we have 5 party members. So let me dive right in and show you how I did this. We've got some new Final Fantasy VII Remix, courtesy of OC Remix. I haven't screened any of this music, just kind of downloaded right now, so we might be skipping songs, but that's okay. The first thing you're going to do is going to create actors, because you're going to have to make a unique actor for each graphic you want the player to be able to use. So once you've done that, you have to think about all the weapons and all the armors and all the possibilities that they can make. And you have to give that player the ability to use all weapons and all armors, in case you give them, if you only say this character is going to use swords, well, what if they pick a wizard class? Well, the wizard's going to use swords, yeah, but how's the player going to know that? So you can either let the player steer them in a direction so that they're forced to do things, or you can broaden it up and open it up. Let the player really decide how they want to treat their characters. So in this case, I've added all the weapon types and all the armor types to the actors, not the classes themselves. The reason why I've done it on the actors and not the classes is because if you want to get rid of this system and go back to like a more story-based, like you get one character, then the next character, then the next character, then you can you don't actually have to change anything that you already have on your classes, because the actors will be blank by default. So you can just delete that off your actors, and that gives you a little fail-safe. If you want to try this out and then go back to your other system, it'll work too. For this method, we're using the skill learning system. I'll do a separate video on that, because this one might go on for a bit. So after you've done your actors, you're going to create the skills for the actors. You'll create the items that they need and all that stuff, your weapons and armors for that. But make sure you assign all of the, on the actors, assign all of the, where they at? All of the things that they can actually use right here on their traits. After you've done that, you're going to start, I guess you could start doing your eventing. So you'll create a new map and call it like the character selector, and just create a map. And what I've done here is made a parallax scrolling, and if you paid attention to the background, you can see that it's kind of looping. So you can just select loop and then select put some numbers here, and it'll show, like, it'll look like the thing is moving. If you were wondering about these graphics, I have a video on that, the tile set video, that goes into detail about how to make different looking tiles, so I won't go into that too much. But the one thing you're going to have to do is either start your player off as transparent by going here and selecting start transparent, or you can alternatively make another actor, character, whatever, and make them like a graphic or something. Like in this case, I chose the exclamation flame sparkles one, so when they're moving around, it just looks like they're like some sort of dust or sparkles or something. And then it doesn't matter the battle or the face that you give them. But just start them off as an actor, and then let them move on to the event. So let's start on the first event here. So I'm going to go through one of these events, and then, because it's going to be like a copy paste for each one of them. So there's going to be a little bit of scripting in here, but it's not that complicated, and I'll walk you through it. So there's simple 2 tabs on this page. The second page is going to be if the self switch is on, do this, and it goes blank, so that you can't have multiple, because if you try to add the same actor, it'll let you, it'll add the actor, but it won't actually increase it because you already have that actor. So you can only have one player per image. However, if you want to have multiple of the same graphic, you can copy and paste. Excuse me, copy and paste, and then that'll let you have a different actor ID with the same exact actor. So you can actually get away with having multiple of the same looking character if you want to, but you have to create a specific actor ID for each one of them. So the first thing is you're going to set it as same as character action button, and then showing text, and then in the show text you want to show the face graphic. So you're going to select the face graphic for that player, so for that actor, so the player knows what that actor is going to look like when they see him in the storyline or the dialogue or anything. And then you're going to show choices, yes or no. After that, you're going to do a transfer player, moving them to the next one. But how this is going to work is, even when you transfer, it's going to do all of this stuff before it actually finishes this. It's going to run all the content. So you can do the transfer player at the top or the bottom, The reason why I did it at the top is so that the player didn't disappear and then reappear. So the sparkles didn't disappear and reappear and then you move screens. If you do the transfer first, all of this stuff is going to happen at the same time as you're transferring. So it looks like the screen goes black and you come back on the next screen and you're that character. So it looks better this way if you do the transfer first, but remember to keep all this in the contents underneath it. So we're going to control a variable. You only have to control 2 variables, really simple on this thing, but it's going to be specific. So you have to memorize where what variable you're using. So for this variable, I'm using number 39. We're calling it the select character variable. Now the number that you're going to set it as, we're going to control variable, right click, insert new, right here. I'll try to make it simple, but this is not going to be your super simple tutorial. Control variable. And we're going to set it to the number equal to the actor ID. So if we saw that was Drifty. So if I go to my actors, I see 17 is Drifty. So that's what number we're going to set it to, this number right here. So that's the first variable we're setting. We're going to control that, set it to 17. Then we're going to remove the starting member. So whatever member you have on your system right here, the starting member, you're going to get rid of that one. So we can see chicken, and we go to actors. Chicken is 5. So we're going to go to change actors, change party, which is, I think, tab 2. No, it's tab 1, change party members right here, and you're going to remove that starting party member. Then you're going to add the party member that they've chosen. So in this case, it's going to be Drifty, and you won't have to put a variable in here because it doesn't let you. I tried to make it so that it would do that, but it doesn't really have to because you can sort of manually see which actor it is. Then you're going to control self switch, which will turn that off so you can have multiple of the same actor ID. And that's it. It's going to transfer you. And basically what I've done is copy pasted that, changed this variable, because see now this is Cass's actor ID, so we're setting that variable to 6, because if we look in our actors, Cass is number 6. So that's the thing that'll change in between them. We go to the next one, we see this variable is 9. And we're still removing the same starting one, but we're adding a different party member. So depending on each actor, you're going to change the party member that it's adding. You're going to change the face graphic at the top to correspond to the image, and you're going to change the variable that corresponds to the actor ID. That's it for the first step. So moving on to the second step, it's going to move you to the job selector. So the job selector, it looks pretty clean and everything, but there's a lot going on in this one event. So we have our auto run event. Okay, I did skip one thing. Let me go back real quick. At the beginning, you're going to let the player know that, hey, welcome to the character selector. Please select your hero by clicking on it. So the player knows what's going on. They're like, oh, hey, I'm a sparkle. What's happening? So all you have to do is do an auto run and then show the text and erase event. And the reason why we're doing an erase event and not self switch here is because we're going to be teleported back here for each character. So when you erase event, it gets rid of it until you leave the map and come back, and then this thing will pop up again. So set that to auto run with an erase event, and that's right on tab 2 under character erase event. So that's it for that right there. Now we're going to go to the second page here. So this event right here is our main character selector, and then secondary, I'm sorry, not character. This event is going to control our job selector and our sub job selector. So at the very beginning, the reason why we do a move event at the beginning and we're setting the move event to player is because when you're teleported, when you come back here, you'll be all your characters will be on one spot. So we're going to have them move across the screen to show how many party members you have in your party at that time. So by the time that you have 5 party members, you're going to want to move at least 4 spaces over. That way you can see all of the party that you have lined up. And it doesn't show the same first character you picked for each time. So that's going to be a simple move event. We just see somewhere here. Go to move event, set movement route, which is in tab 2 on under movement. And when you do that, you're going to set that to the player, and you're just going to have them move left or right, or it doesn't really matter what direction. Just have them move so that the players can separate, so the characters can separate and the player can see them separating. Then underneath that, we're going to show text and also let the player know that, hey, welcome to the starting job selector. Please select the main class. You probably want to do some sort of conformity. So whatever you do, or consistency rather, whatever, if you go dim top, dim bottom, you probably want to keep the same, but it doesn't matter. That's flavored. Then we're going to show choices. So you're going to need a plugin to do the long giant list. I'll put a link in the description where you can get HeMayWorks' plugin. It's a really, really awesome plugin. I use it all the time. It's It's called Large Choices, right here from HemiaWorks, and it lets you basically put in choices one list after another, so that you can have like a giant list instead of five options and then say go to next, go to next, go to next. It'll just be all in one long list, and it just makes it look cleaner and more polished. So basically, you're going to right-click, insert new, control choices, or is it show choices? Right here, show choices, and you're going to take all 6 of them, and then whatever background or window you choose doesn't really matter, but you want to go default none, and then cancel, disallow. That way the player can't mess it up by pressing escape or something. They actually have to pick a character, a class and subclass for this character. So make sure when you show your choices, you go default none, cancel, disallow on all of them. And with this plugin, all you really have to do is after that, you just do another show choices right underneath it, and then right underneath it, show choices again. As long as you put the same thing, cancel, disallow, they won't be able to break your system. So then in the choices, you're going to show the classes, the jobs that you can actually pick. And now once you've got all of your jobs listed, you're going to do the same thing in all of them, except you're going to change one number. So we're going to input a script command, script call. So we're going to go to tab 3, and all the way under at advanced in the bottom right, you're going to do script. It's going to bring up a box that's going to pop up. In this box, you're going to type this. Now there's more than one way to do this, and I've spent a lot of time yesterday working on this, and I had some help from Yanfly. Thank you very much, Yanfly, you're the boss. We're gonna do this, variable x equals $game variables.value, and this number is the number we're using to store the actor's ID. Keep in mind that this is the same number that we're using in our character creator right here to set this. This is very important. To control variables. So this variable number 39 is going to be set to the actor ID of the character, the actor that they picked. So once we take that information and store that in a variable, now we're going to call on that information in this script call. So we're saying we're creating a local variable, variable x, and this is only going to be used in this script call. So if we try to call on variable x anywhere else, it'll crash. It won't know what it is. This is a local variable. We're saying x is now this. So now x is going to be the number of the actor ID that the player picked. That way we can go $game actors.actor, whatever one they picked, .change class to this number right here is going to be the number of the class ID. And this false means we're starting them off. This basically, by going comma false, it's just like when you check the initialize box. It's going to just start them off with fresh whatever they're started off in the database. We're going to close that parentheses and end line. So let's go over this number one more time. When we change class, this number 28, why do we have 28 right here? Because this is Blue Mage. When they select Blue Mage, we can go to our database and see that if we go to our classes and we go down to 28, we see that 28 is our Blue Mage. So that's why when they selected Blue Mage, we're changing class to this number, comma false. Now, if you make like a different system, you can set that to true. At the beginning, it won't matter too much. You can go 28 comma true. But since this is at the beginning of the game, I'm going 28 comma false, inline. Underneath that, we have to do one more thing, because if you don't do this next thing, then whatever starting class that they have is they're also going to have that, no matter what. So that means each actor might have a different bonus class that the character won't even know how they got it. So you want to remove that. But before you do this, in order to keep this number consistent and be 1 on all of them, that way you can easily copy paste this, you're going to do this. Go to your database and go to your actors, set them all to soldier or whatever your class 1 is. Just set them all to the same class. Doesn't even matter if it doesn't have to be the first one. Just set them all to the same. So you can see that they're all by default set to soldier, because by in the script right here, we're removing soldier. So we're saying game actors X, whatever one they picked, remove their soldier class, the first one right there. That way you can just copy paste that in each one. You could just leave them default, but then you have to change this number and it'll be a bigger hassle later on. So set them all the same and then have the remove class all the same. Now it's important that this is underneath this one right here, because the character has to have a class. So if you try to remove the class and it's the only class they have, it won't work. It'll do nothing. So make sure that this is underneath change class. So we're changing class. Now they have access to 2 classes because their starting class and the one we changed them into. So we're going to remove their starting one. Hopefully that makes sense. I think I've cleared it up for you guys. And then we're going to do a control self switch A, which is going to go to the next page, but we're going to finish this really quickly. So you're going to basically copy this, paste it underneath the next one. All we're changing here, we're still keeping the value of 39. This is going to be consistent. This is going to store our actor ID. We're also declaring it each time in each script call because it's a local variable. And then we're going to change this one. Only number we're changing here is, you see it was 28 in the last one. Now it's 26. Why is this one 26? Well, we see they've selected Geomancer. So we're going to go to our classes. Geomancer is 26. So you can see a correspondence, or what is it called? A correlation here. The number is going to change equal to the value of the class ID. So Geomancer is 26. We're changing this one to 26. Exile is 24, so we're changing this number to 24. So you can basically right-click, copy this, go here, paste this, go into here, edit this, change this number. Now what I've found was a big hassle is figuring out, oh, well, which one was this, which one was that? Create a text file or something, and then make like a little note tab so that you can have all of your actors, the numbers, just type it out real quick. Okay, my actor whatever is on this spot, actor 8 is this spot. The same thing for your classes. You can say soldiers class 1, monkeys class 2, and then while I'm editing my scripts, I can go over here, edit this, and bring this up, and I'm like, okay, I'm editing my script trying to figure out what class is what. I have a point of reference right here. You don't have to have anything special in Notepad will work, but that's just a little tip for you guys. So once we've got all of our select main classes up, we're good. So I have a bunch, 18. You probably might not have that many. Maybe you'll have more, but it's basically the same thing across all of them. So make sure you turn the self switch on underneath all of them. And the reason why this one looks different, I don't have the remove soldier class because they're already soldier. So I could actually even get rid of that one right there, but I just left it there for, I don't know why, because they're all soldier by default. So everything else will be the same. Besides the one you select by default, you won't have to remove class. Make sure you don't remove class on the one that's that particular one. So you can see we're changing class to 1 on this one. So we're not going to remove 1. If you did, it wouldn't work anyway. So it's not a big deal if you do have it there. So after you do the self switch, you're going to move to the next page. So this next page, same thing. It's going to be auto run. I don't know if I said that, but this has to be auto run. So this one's auto run, but you're going to do self switch A is on. So on this one, you're going to do the same thing, show text at the top, please select the subclass, and then you're going to show choices with the HemiWorks plugin, large choices. After you show the first 6, you right click, show more choices, show the next 6, make sure that it is, cancel is disabled right here, cancel disallow, default none. Or you can set a default, it doesn't matter, but make sure you cancel disallow. So this script will be a little bit different, but it's kind of the same thing if you think about it. So we're going to declare a local variable X, like I said, is local, it won't carry over, so, excuse me, so the variable that we declared in another script won't actually work on this one because it's local. Variable X equal game variables dot value, the same one, 39, we're still keeping the actor's ID number right here. We're setting this X to the actor's ID. Hopefully, I know I've said that a lot, but it's important. So then we're going to go game actors dot actor, X, the one that the character has picked, the player has picked. Then we're going to go change subclass. Make sure you get all the capitalization correctly because that has been a point of much contention for me. Is just this has caused me so much trouble. I would go capital C on class, or I would forget to capitalize actor or capitalize this actor. If you change the capitalization at all, it's undefined and you'll crash. So make sure you copy this verbatim. Game actors, capital A on actors, change capital S on subclass, and 28. So this reason why we've said 28 is, like I said before, this is your class ID. So this is when they've selected Blue Mage, and like we've seen in the database. Also, if we go to our point of reference here, we can see class 28. We've selected Blue Mage for that. Then we have that comma false, which means initialize, and we're going to inline. Don't forget to put your inlines, otherwise it'll crash again. So we have to do one more thing. So if you don't do this next line, then it means this is optional. I wanted the player to be able to use the abilities of their subclass, and the skill learning system, the way that I've set it up, you won't be able to learn abilities from your subclass unless you go to the plugin and change that around, which you could do that too. But I wanted the player, if they selected like priest/witch, that they can still switch around, so they could be witch witch/priest if you wanted them to. That way they can spend their job points. Now each another thing about the job point system, if you get like say 1,000 job points on your witch class and you switch to priest, you'll have 0 job points. But if you go back to the first one, you'll have those job points still. So job points are class specific, same as experience. So you're gonna do this string game capital A on actors dot actor. We're still referencing that actor ID that we've selected, dot unlock capital C on class, and then we're also going to just replicate this number. So when they select their subclass, they're going to select another main class that they can use. That way they can switch back and forth. And you're going to replicate that across. So after you do that, you're going to do a transfer player to the next part, which will be the naming part, and then you're going to control self switch off, because we want the player to be able to come back and forth between this. So if you don't turn off the self switch, which will put you back on this page, then when you come back, you'll only be able to select your second actor. You'll only be able to select a sub job and not a main job, and it won't work. So make sure that you have at the end of when they select their main, you control self switch A on. On the second tab, you have this checked for looking for A, and at the end, after they select their sub, you turn that switch off, which will put you back on the first one. Then you're going to transfer them, and you're going to basically copy paste all of this for each job. It'll be the same. The only thing that'll change is the number that you're changing, and this number will reference the class ID. And that's why having a point of reference is really helpful. And your unlock class, you're also going to, when they select their subclass, you're also going to unlock their main class, like I said. So copy paste that. You won't have to change too much, except for maybe on soldier. Let me see, did I change soldier? No. You won't even have to change soldier, because that's only on their main class that they start with. After that, we're transferring players to the next phase. So the next phase is going to do the opening tutorial. And this one is going to have a move event so that you can see the character once again for the same thing. You can see all the characters you have in your party. Otherwise, they'll all be on one tile, and you'll just see the first actor you selected. So when you're naming your last actor, you'll have 5 characters, and it'll look like your first character. So it won't work right. So do another move event so that the players move around so you can see everybody in the party, and then the last member you see will still be standing still looking at the camera. If you move 4, it depends on, now you would have to change however many tiles you move depending on the party, how many party members you want. So this is the event that's going to control how many times you're going to loop through the character creation. You can have this for just 1 character, for just your starting character, or you can have it for 8 characters. It depends on how many party members you want, really. So you're going to show a text saying, what's your name? I noticed inconsistency here. I have that at the bottom. I should probably put that at the top to match everything. Then we're going to show, this is going to be the script call for name input processing. And the reason why you have to do a script call for this one, because you have to, when you go to the editor, you actually have to select the particular actor you're naming, but you don't know what actor the player has chosen. So you're going to have to reference a variable. That's why we've decided at the beginning to store the actor's ID number into a variable at the very beginning when they select their actor's graphic. So once again, we're declaring our local variable x equals $game variables dot value 39. That same one that's on the first event when they select their character, in parentheses inline. Now we're going to do these 2 lines will control name input processing. So scene, capital S on scene, capital M on manager, because this is different. You don't lowercase this one. So capital S on scene, capital M on manager dot push, and then we're going to do parentheses scene underscore name, and then inline. And then underneath that, you're going to do scene manager. Make sure you capitalize the scene, S on scene, M on manager dot prepare, capital N on next, capital S on scene. And then you're going to do parentheses X, which is the variable. This is the actor ID that they're saying. The second argument is going to be the number of characters you want them to be able to input. And I think the max is 16. I haven't tried to push it past 16, but it can be anywhere from 1 to 16. So I just got them with 16 just to give more options. So then you're going to in parentheses and inline. So that's a simple script call there. That's referencing the actor ID that's stored, since depending on which one they've collected or selected. Then we're going to control variables. So now we're going to create our second variable. Right click, insert new. This variable is going to control how many party members you it's going to assist in controlling how many party members you want them to have at the start. So control variables, get a new one, call it selected member count or something like that, and then basically you're going to add 1 to that. So you would just set that to an add operation, and the operand is by 1. And then underneath that, we're going to do a conditional statement. Right-click in new, insert new, conditional branch, and we're going to select that variable that we just created, and it's going to say if this variable is equal to the number, or I do greater than equal to just for some fail-safe, but selected member count is greater than or equal to 5, then we're going to do what we say. Otherwise, do this. So we're going to create an else branch on this conditional statement. So if it's greater than or equal to 5, we're going to turn on self switch, and it's going to go to the next page. Otherwise, we're going to transfer the player back to the very first, we're going to transfer the player all the way back to here, where they're going to repeat the same process. But but you notice on this, let me go back to it. You notice right before we check for it, we're increasing it. So right after they've named their character, we're adding, they've selected their character, oh my god, I can't talk. They've selected their actor ID, the graphic, they've selected their class, they've selected their subclass, and they've named their character. Now we're adding one to that variable. That's when we want to add one to that variable. Now, and then right after that, we're checking for how many have we added, how many characters have they got. If you want to change the maximum party members that they can have, you can change that in the plugin, but if you want to change the maximum number of party members that they can automatically generate at the beginning, then you change this number. If you want them to have 1, you set this to 1. If you want them to have 8, you'd set this to 8. For my case, I want them to have 5, so I'm setting this to 5. And then you're going to transfer the player back. Now, if you, once they've got all their characters, that's going to, and the if condition is met, then we're going to control self switch A on, and this, we're going to create a new tab. Now this is going to be control self switch A on, and it's also going to be auto run. Most of these events are going to be auto run. Parallel processes would probably work too, but just do auto run. Now this one, there's some optional things you won't need. So time start on, the minutes, the hours, the days. Let's try to say all 3 words in one word. You won't need these. This is declaring variables. If you're using variables in your damage formulas, declare them all here. Set them all to 0 or whatever you want them to start with right here at the very beginning before they can do anything. Otherwise, you might crash because it's an undefined variable, or you might end up doing 0 damage and locking the, creating weird bugs. So declare all your variables right after you've selected all your party members. And also, when you add subjobs to subclasses to your class, you're going to increase their maximum in HP, but you're not going to increase their HP per se. So do a recover all event. Real simple. Insert new. Recover all right here, and just select entire party. That way they start with full HP and MP. I think they should start with full. It would be weird if they didn't. Then we're going to do your opening entrance right here. You're saying welcome to the game. Do a simple little quick tutorial. It's good to include tutorials in your game so players know what they should always know a general idea of what they should be doing and where they're supposed to be going and how to use their abilities and how to use the game itself. So all of this stuff is all just Flash, you know. It's all just a flavor that you can change right here. This is my opening intro. After this, you're going to do one more transfer event going to where you want them to start off at. So a town or wherever you want the game to actually start. But wow, that was quite a bit. You will need some plugins for that. Get Yanfly's core engine. You're going to need the class change core. You're going to need the Yanfly expansion subclass for that. You're going to need probably the battle engine core. I would get that. What else would you need? I'm going to put a link in the description below to where you can get all this stuff. You will need HumanWorks' large choices and possibly others, but I'll put a link in the description once I have everything defined exactly what you need. This video went on a little bit longer. I know this was a very long tutorial. This is a little bit more advanced, but some of you, like me, were looking for something like this for a long time. And since I started using RPG Maker, I've always wanted to design a system like this, and this is what gets me excited, making systems like this. Thank you guys for being awesome. Thank you guys for watching this video. Remember to like, favorite, share, and subscribe. Get as many people involved in RPG Maker MV as you can so our community can grow exponentially, and then we can just create amazing, amazing games for everyone to enjoy. So thank you guys again for watching, and we'll see you in the next tutorial.